Garden of Terror, Ben, I went nuts, and you had said that it would be cool if we had some like Greco-Roman ruins, and then so I went with that, and here we go. I produced the first painting here, Garden of Terror.
That's a very
Greco-Roman
cool
ruins, right here, with little eyeballs staring at you in the darkness. See, so it looks nice. You go, oh, there's no D&D mean stuff in here. Yes, there is. It's just hidden. And I thought it would be kind of cool if we had two major, like, monster kind of things. One is some kind of swarm critter.
Ooh.
Little critters that are swarming you. You got to fight like 15 of them or something. They're all attacking your party. Some kind. And then something big. Maybe something shadowy or ghosty.
Oh, that could be cool.
Yeah, something that's, you need maybe a magic weapon to be able to handle this kind of guy.
Yeah.
Haven't figured it out yet, but I would prefer if the swarmers were maybe biped kind of humanoid types.
Like little rat guys, maybe, or
something like that. Some kind of little critter. And then, to get carried away again, I did pencil out the second one. See here, I got this nice. This is going to be really cool.
I haven't seen this yet. No, okay. I haven't seen either of these things.
I could have sworn I sent this to you.
No, I haven't seen either of these things
yet.
Okay,
all right. So I need to send Ben a copy because he's just seeing it now. Yeah, so I have this big, huge, like head of a statue, and it's bronze and it's hollow. So critters and stuff could be living in this thing at night, right? In the daytime, right? Because in the daytime it's a nice garden and everything, but at night it's the Garden of Terror. Right? And I got this little guy up here, and I got bats flying around the background. So it's going to be really, really fun.
That's pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. So is it kind of like, is it a ruin, or is it like, is it a maintained garden?
Here's what I was thinking. It was a ruin, and then some local guy decides he's going to put some money into this and make a garden out of it. And everything is nice for quite a long time until one day it's not. Then it's the Garden of Terror. And the characters are going to have to deal.
And now he's hiring adventurers to like come clean the...
Or something, or the adventurers discover it, or there's rumors about it. And of course, it's only at nighttime when it's the Terror Garden. In the day, everybody hangs out there. Nighttime, nobody hangs out there. So, and there's a reason for it. So Ben, you're going to have to come up with the several reasons why your characters either do or don't want to be there at night, or both.
I love the idea that it's like the Garden of Happiness during the day, and then like park closes at sundown, guys.
Yeah, okay, everybody out. You kids, get that beer out of here. Yeah.
Yep, get out of there. It's corn mazes. It's like a holiday winter festival.
Yeah, exactly.
No. But yeah, that could be really cool. So I like the idea of like a big giant like hollow bronze head, and then a colossal kind of creature head with the eyes, and then stuff just comes pouring out of that.
Sure,
like, that's
and it could be some kind of smoky, again, kind of ghosty kind of thing at night too. And which is why in the daytime you could go into the bronze head and there's nothing in there.
Yeah.
Right, but at night he comes out of the.
Yeah.
In fact, maybe I could even, in the finished painting, paint some kind of ghosty smoke stuff coming out of the eyes and going behind them or something.
That could be really cool.
That could be kind of cool. I didn't even think of that. So we just thought of it now.
It could be kind of like a thing where, in a situation like this, especially if it's like a sculpture garden kind of thing with like maybe like the old statues, maybe they come to life and attack the party. Or maybe it's an illusion and the party thinks they're fighting them, but it's actually like illusion magic.
Now, I like that idea.
And then like after you beat it, right, you fight, these things come at you and like you're fighting like, the Venus de Milo, whatever, with the no arms, and like it's attacking you and it's got breath weapon or something, and you're fighting it. And then after you finish the battle, you're just hitting the statue with a sword. It's not moving, and it never moved.
So it's some kind of trickery magic.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
So whatever this
That's
thing
really cool.
is like, messing with your head. So much of the stuff that's happening with the terror aspect of it is
really kind of not real.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. That's real creepy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I didn't even think of that one. I was thinking more like swarm critters and ghosts, and you're going into mental magic.
We could do swarm critters and ghosts too.
That's right.
The ghost could be controlling, could be doing the mind magic, right? And the little critters just work for him or something.
Yeah. I like.
Or they just like the area, right?
Sure.
what's, we use the bugbears already, but one of the things with bugbears is that they like are happy with like fear. Like they feed off of the fear of other people. So like little critters.
Yeah.
That seems like it would work for them if
It
you wanted
would.
to do something like
Yeah.
something along those lines.
Yeah, I like all these ideas. So yeah, can't wait to see what you write.
So I was kind of wanting a little bit of advice on the Garden of Terror, because what I was thinking was, what I was looking at was maps of like Central Park and a couple other like big parks and stuff. And what I was thinking of was that this place isn't so much a dungeon where you start at one part and get to the other part, but it's like, it's a park and you're there at night and it's full of monsters and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like a lake, we were saying it was going to be a nice park. So it's like a nice lake in the middle.
Yeah, in the daytime.
Yeah. And then when you come at night, it's scary. But maybe in addition to it being, instead of it being a dungeon, it's like a mystery that you have to figure out. So what if there's like a couple buildings over here, if you go into them at night, you can see some writing that wasn't there during the day. And then that leads you to like go to this one place to do this one thing that you have to do to make the bad guy show up to fight him.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I didn't think of that.
Because that could be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it as like a park, right? But
Yeah.
because then the map is just a circle, right? It's a little walking trail around, and there's like 4 or 5 things.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
And there's like an old, maybe one of the things is an old building, and that's like where you feel the source of the energy coming from. And so when you go in there, you have to fight a monster, but when you kill that monster, you get like a clue, an item or a location or something, and you have to go to somewhere else in the garden and summon the main bad guy.
Okay.
But you got those little critters that you were talking about.
Yeah, like a swarm monster or something
Yeah,
like that.
and they're messing with you the whole time. So the longer you're hanging out in here and the longer it takes you to solve this mystery, the more random encounters you're going to have with these kind of little monsters and stuff.
Okay, yeah. I like
So I thought something like that could be interesting.
Yeah.
But it makes the map weird.
Yeah, so we're thinking of, okay, so we have the giant head,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we have a pond,
Yep.
and we have one set of ruins, those
Ruins.
columns.
Yeah,
okay?
maybe the columns is where you fight the bad guy, or maybe the head.
Okay.
One of those is like, you need a boss fight area.
And then we have random paths,
Mm-hmm. We'll have like a rose garden.
yeah, paths, and then, and then,
We need a structure, because like in order to get the clue, we want a structure where it's like you have to do 2 things in
so
this
we'll
building.
have 2 or 3 sets of ruins. Maybe one that has a building you can enter.
Yeah. Has to be a building you can enter, because then you can kind of funnel the party into whatever you want them to do, right?
You got the columns.
It's not a very threatening like bad guy if you can sneak up on him from behind and he's
Sure.
out in the open. So I think that it's going to be more stations, and I think you can do them out of order. Maybe there's 3 things you have to get
Yeah.
before you can summon the bad guy.
Or solve the puzzle or whatever.
Yeah,
you do.
and I've been struggling a little to like write the puzzle and come up with that, but it's doable. But we should have the map down, and then we can just go from there. I can come up with like the details of the puzzle, but
Sure.
basically you're gonna have to go 3 places and get
What
3
if,
pieces of
what
information.
if one of the writings on the wall is a spell? And you need a magic user to read and cast that spell.
Yeah.
That could be one key. Another key is maybe there's a physical object you have to plug into a wall, or you have to move a stone,
Yeah.
or something has to be. Let's say there's a statue that has to be pushed off its pedestal,
Oh, cool.
and there's something under there,
Yeah.
which is key number 2.
I like that.
And then key number 3 would be, I don't know. I thought of 2 ideas, Ben. Give me another one.
Yeah. Yeah, spell the thing, and you probably have to kill something to fight something.
Well, they're definitely going to have to fight something.
Yeah, but maybe there's
But they have to fight something
break
to get
something.
to get the treasure, or to get the thing that they need to show somebody something to get treasure, or whatever it is.
Yeah, maybe they have to
Maybe they have to close a portal.
like that,
Maybe they have to close a portal that all these critters are coming in at night.
and then they can't escape.
Yeah,
You've trapped them here, and now you have to face them.
maybe. or they keep coming in and messing with people at
Yeah,
night.
yeah.
So you have to shut it off to get rid of these evil little demon critters, so
Yeah.
you can have a normal park again.
Yeah, exactly. So the monsters come through the portal, and then, yeah, you seal the portal, but once you've sealed the portal, all those monsters are stuck
Yeah, you
here.
got to get rid of them.
And now they're mad. And
Yeah,
they're
now they're
attacking.
pissed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Yeah, so you recite the spell, you have the object,
Uh-huh.
you go to the place where the portal is, and you close it, and then you hear the
yeah,
noise,
you
and
need the
turn around.
object and you need the spell.
Yeah,
And then you close the portal, then you fight the critters.
yeah.
Okay.
Then they
that's
get
it.
mad and they all attack you.
Yes.
In that spot, that's where the boss
Exactly,
is.
and that's when you're just like hammer down, whacking stuff.
Yep.
Okay, I like that.
That's when it gets real. That's when it gets serious.
Okay, I like that.
Thanks for casting
That
the spell,
works.
magic user.
Exactly.
I got it from
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Step aside. let's just get out the vorpal weapons here, because we're gonna need them. Yeah. Okay, cool. And I'll come up with a circular, garden path. It's gonna be real simple
Yeah.
with the area number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, or whatever, and yeah, and then you can figure out what thing does what.
Yeah.
There'll probably be a path that goes around the whole thing, and probably a couple other paths, and the head's here, and there's one set of ruins here, there's another set here, there's another set there, and the rest is just trees and
Yeah.
foliage and stuff that you walk along these.
Do we want a hedge maze? No.
A hedge maze? What's that?
You know, one of those, they sculpt the hedges so you can, like a cornfield maze kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, a maze. I thought you said a mace.
Oh.
I'm thinking, what is a hedge maze?
A hedge maze could be a cool item to find.
What's it made?
It's like thorns, right? It's like picture like a rose bush, but it's a weapon, right?
Wow.
So it's like a gnarled, spindly, branch of thorny vines, right? It's got a handle, and then the vines come out of it, and then it's got a ball at the end that's all thorns, but maybe a rose in there or something.
That sounds like a druid device.
It's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Wow. I'm just going to write that down just for fun.
Yeah, I think I should do that too.
Hedge mace.
The hedge maze.
Okay.
I like it. The more I think about it, the more I
Okay.
like it. So you got the handle, and then you got all the winding up stuff, and then you got the big ball. It's just like a
Okay.
ball of. It's like a brambles, but it's a weapon. Maybe it's a flail almost with the.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be either way. Yeah. Okay, I like that. All right. Good. Okay, we have a map idea.
What are the little gremlins? Just little guys, just like goblins, basically.
Yeah, some kind of little bipedal goblin-esque. They're not goblins because they're actually from a different dimension
Yeah.
because they're coming through the portal.
Yeah.
So there's some kind of weird critter. Now, we're going to have a monster guide for him.
Yeah.
So that means I have to paint him. To come up. Okay, thanks, man. Create
A new
More.
monster design.
monsters today.
You tell me you're all caught up on your paintings, man. It's not my fault you keep coming up with cool stuff.
Okay.
It's not my fault.
Okay, some kind of gremlin goblin critter.
You know, if you're gonna do that, then you can
Uh-huh.
have the bigger like a bigger version of him, and you can be carrying the hedge mace.
Okay. Draw the hedge maze too.
Is that a dumb idea?
No, it's not dumb. I think
Okay.
it's kind of interesting. Gremlin goblin type critter.
I like the design that you came up with the eyes. I picture them with
Yeah, big
All
eyes,
black with,
almost like a. Have you ever? Are you familiar with the Dover demon cryptid critter?
No.
It's kind of like a mini version of a gray, but they're a little more stockier and stuff.
Oh, cool.
I was thinking something kind of like that.
that'd be cool.
So yeah, because they're they don't really have like a mouth or anything. It's just the big eyes, but they're kind of creepy. But there's a whole bunch of them,
Yeah.
right?
Maybe the pond is where there's a nice spirit, the good version of the spirit of the actual park right?
Sure, or it's a
can talk
place,
to the
or
machine.
maybe it's a place where just the little demon critters don't want to go,
Yeah.
right? It's a neutral place, so the pond could be here.
You could go there if you need to chill for an hour to like rest up.
You could do something like that, or it could be just a place where they just don't travel there for some reason.
Yeah. What about
Uh-huh.
what about working at a time mechanic?
Well, you do have all night, right?
Yeah.
Because the sun's got to come up sometime.
Yeah.
And then after that, the monsters run away.
And all this stuff goes away.
Yeah. Yeah, I
What
think
What if we work it in where you have one night?
it's on the solstice.
Yeah, you got to do it on the solstice. It's the only time you can close this portal. Or we don't tell them it's a portal, but for some reason we know that you have one night to
They
accomplish
have,
this.
yeah, they have to read this stuff.
The solstice.
They
night.
have to discover it, or maybe it's a rumor that they pick up in town or something,
Yeah.
right? And that's a legend.
Yeah.
But then when they go to investigate it, the wizard character understands that this is a spell, this portal thing, and he can read it, or she can
Yeah.
read it. And then they have to figure out where to cast this spell, because, yeah. So let's say they have to go into this place to cast it, or they have to go to this place to move this place to move the statue.
Mm-hmm.
This place to read the spell, this place to cast it, and then the fight is just on,
Yeah.
right? They're pouring out of they're pouring out of this, they're pouring out of that head.
Yeah.
So this is the head.
And you have the
And
solstice
that's
they
where,
call you and they're like, we need
yeah,
you here. It's like
that's
the
where
night
the
of
portal is.
Yeah. There's like a solstice festival or something, and at the festival is when like everybody gets together and they do this spell.
Sure, almost
They-
like a Day of the Dead kind of
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
right?
yeah. They have a big festival at the park, and you go there during the day and you watch them do this like solstice festival thing, and
At night, stuff starts.
well, they've been haunted by this stuff
Yeah, for years.
and they don't know how to get rid of it, but they think that like it's on the solstice. So when they call you to help, they're like, you have to help. Come on Friday, and we need your help. And but nobody can go to this place at night, and you hear the rumors about that stuff. And then you go, they do this festival during the day, but what they're doing is a ritual that like allows the portal to be seen or whatever.
Something,
It
yeah.
allows all this stuff to be seen.
Yeah.
So you have whatever, dusk till dawn, you have like 10 hours to, because it's the summer solstice, so maybe you have 8. It keeps the party from being able to rest and chill and get their spells
Yeah,
back
you're
and
gonna
all
have
that
to rush them
stuff.
through it.
You have to do this. You have 8 hours, which is plenty of time if you're running through this stuff, but you don't have time to mess around. You got to get all this stuff done.
Yeah, I love it.
And then, yeah, and if you don't, then they're doomed until the summer solstice of next year.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is
Party can run away, but they're just going to doom this little town to not be able to use their park at night again for a year.
trouble. You have to come back next year.
Yeah, come back next year. No, they're going to be less happy less happy to see you. They'll be less welcoming of. They won't put the roses over you at the.
Don't make me laugh beer through my nose. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
We're back.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught the end of that, but we haven't bought a clapboard yet, so I'm using.
Yes.
We've switched to the microphone on the desk because the labs were massively complicated.
Yes,
to
they were a little
maneuver.
complicated and they were a little buzzy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and we might have guests at some point.
Yes.
So we're hoping to have guests on the show at some point, and I only have 2 labs, and I don't know how to connect 3, so we're
We're not quite tech savvy yet.
we're limited by our knowledge and our equipment.
Yeah. So, Ben, we finished Garden of Terror, didn't we?
We did finish Garden of Terror. I have to pull that note up.
Yes.
So let's start with that.
Okay.
Garden of Terror is done,
Excellent.
and we have some really cool stuff set up for it.
Yeah, we do.
So you sent me. You have some art for the monsters that we're going to run
Yes. Got them right here.
into. So the video we just showed was you creating the cool like setup for the head with all the stuff coming out of it. It's
Yeah.
really cool looking, and it's
We
going to
have
be a
all the
central
Garden
part
of Terror art right here in my hot little hand. Which one do you want to see first?
Let's start at the top.
Okay. Let's start at the top with the scenery.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. So here's the scenery at Garden of Terror. We were talking about what's kind of a ruined, kind of a Greek-esque, Greek Romano kind of temple thing, and then the garden grows around it, and it's kind of they made a garden out of it. And then I got this cool head with the characters running around in the dark, right, with little eyes watching them everywhere they go.
I love the eyes.
Yes.
And then you had to decide what the eyes, what
Yes.
the eyes were attached to.
Yes. So I originally wanted some kind of like a little kind of dark goblin, instead of like a drow, like a dark elf, like a dark goblin.
Oh, that's
kind
cool.
of character. So I came up
I've
with this
never
guy.
seen it before.
Yes. This. You seen this one? I think it's pretty cool. And I wanted like this swarm critter type of stuff. But when I was drawing him, I'm like, he's cool, but not like a swarm. So I came up with another swarm critter, and they're almost like in a mist, coming out of a mist, and they're like demonic little squid critters and stuff to kind of swim around but in the air, not in the water.
That's really cool.
Yes, and then we have a nice, a really cool map too that you can play around in with the different locales of things you need to do to get rid of the swarm critters.
So we came up with a story for it, and so the story for the Garden of Terror is going to be this. Basically, there's a little town, and I've called it Ostland. It's like a Scandinavian-style village kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So this town is having a big problem. They have, so the Garden of Terror is just, it's like a nice park. It's like the park at the center of any town in the world, right? Like a Central Park kind of deal where there's a nice path and there's a lake and there's, some statues and that head is in there and there's some old ruins and stuff. There's a little pavilion area, some gazebos, that kind of stuff. And it's very nice and there's a rose garden, everything's very pretty, but at night everything goes dark. And people started disappearing, and then they shut off the access to the park because at night these monsters come out and they terrorize it. So they just seal the park up at night. And what we came up with was that the heroes, I'm going to have them be 5th or 6th level at the beginning of this. Basically, high enough level that they would have some local renown, but also not so high level that the people of this town couldn't afford to have them come and pay them a reward for doing this.
Yeah.
So basically, they get a quest at some point that this town is looking for heroes to come solve this problem. And the problem can only be solved one night of the year. On the summer solstice is the only time that the stars are aligned correctly or whatever. There's something happening where that's the only time where they can stop this evil. So the heroes go to the town and they have the big solstice festival in the garden, right? And it's just this big party. Everybody, there's music, there's dancing. I put in rules to play this if you wanted to include this as the beginning of the adventure. And there's like the town mayor and his wife, and they're very nice. And all the girls from the town are like making like little flower necklaces for you and bringing you drinks and cooking like smoking meats and stuff.
Everybody's happy.
Everybody's happy, and they're having this great thing. And then everybody's just kind of like, thank you so much for coming. Like, we really, you're the heroes. Like, we will owe you forever if you can do this. And then the sun goes down and everybody bails. And it's summer solstice, and I used Seattle's time because we're pretty far north. And sun goes down at 9 p.m. and it comes up at 5 a.m. on the summer solstice here. So you have 8 hours. You can't rest. You can't really mess around. You have 8 hours to navigate this garden and defeat the bad guys that are there. Defeat like the evil that's infesting it.
Love it.
Yeah. So what you end up discovering is when you come in, there's a lake at the center of this park, and the lake is kind of a safe place. The spirit of the garden lives there, and she's like this very nice, sprite or dryad or something along those lines, some kind of water spirit. And so when you go down towards the lake area, if you're near the lake, you're not going to get attacked by these little critters that Brian just showed. And at some point you can maybe meet the spirit and get some advice on what you need to do. But in order to defeat the evil is basically, you'll learn this through the course of the adventure, but there's like an extra dimensional portal in this area, and it's in the head. And at night, all these little monsters come out and they attack everything. And I had an idea that like maybe the reason the park is so beautiful is because these things are killing people and putting them in the gardens, and like that's composting them, and it's making it really awesome, making the garden.
Wow,
really
that's
awesome.
dark.
Yeah. But basically, you have to over the course of this 8 hours, you have to get 3 things. You have to go into, there's a little like building there, a little pavilion area, and there's a guardian there, and he's basically like the giant version of those little goblin dudes. He's like the goblin champion, and he's bigger and he's armored and he's scary. He's like the bugbear or the hobgoblin version of those guys. And when you defeat him, the wall lights up behind him, and it has the words to this magic spell. And so you have to have a magic user who can cast the spell. And when he reads it, he learns the spell, and you have to recite this spell later on. The second thing you need is this summer stone, which is like this thing that harnesses the power of that spell. That is in a statuary area in a different part of the garden. The map of the garden is a circle. The lake's in the middle, and you go around the outside, and there's different stuff all set up around there. So you head to the statuary area. The statues attack you at night. It's an illusory attack, right? So it's all phantasmal. It's all in your head. It's all like, these dark spirits controlling it. But it looks like the statues are attacking you. Some of the heads fly off and try to bite you, and you're fighting the heads, and they can bite and grab onto you and slow you down. And then like some of the statues will walk off, and you have to fight them. And then when you defeat them, you just see the statuary garden again, and you move the correct statue. And maybe that's where the Lady of the Lake tells you what to do. You move that statue, and there's a thing underneath that has the stone that you need.
So that's like the key or something.
Yeah, it's like a focus for the magical energy of the spell that you just learned. And the third thing you need is a magic weapon. So you need the hedge mace. It's in a rose garden. You find some of those swarm critters there.
God, I got to draw that, don't I?
Maybe. You already did like 4 pieces of art for this, and you've been doing 2 historically, so I don't think you have to do it. But yeah, so you get this mace, and then you go to the head, you read the spell while you're holding the stone, it channels the energy, it brings that monster out of the head. You're fighting him, you're getting swarmed by everything else, because as soon as you start casting that spell, everything goes nuts and comes after you. And as some guys are holding off the horde, and some guys are fighting the big bad guy, and then once he's down, you whack him with the hedge mace, and then he's blasted out of existence, and you win.
It's wonderful.
And so that's the adventure. And I think it's pretty cool.
I think it's really cool. Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah, so we have some really cool stuff in there, and we put it together all as a PDF that you can download off the Patreon for $1, which is like $1 a month is what we're asking on there.
That's it.
It's easy, yeah.
Love it, man. That's awesome.
Really cool adventure, and I thought it would be kind of a fun. One of the things that makes adventures really cool is to have an interesting mechanic in it. And one of these mechanics, the mechanic for this one is that you have 8 hours. If you have something that gives you like a ring or something that you can regenerate your spells in 2 hours or 4 hours, that's fine. You can do that. But you're running out of time, and these little swarm dudes are everywhere.
Yeah.
So I have a random encounter table in there where it's like, if you as a DM think that the party's screwing around too much,
You can motivate them.
you can motivate them with a random encounter attack. And also, you can kind of keep the pressure up all the time, because they'll be like, well, I want to search the bodies. And you can be like, okay, well, it's going to take you like 10 minutes to search the bodies. Depends on how thoroughly you want to search them. If you just want to look, you could do that in 2 minutes. But if you want to really search them, it's going to take you 10. So that'll be a fun thing that you can do to keep your party moving.
The clock is ticking on this.
Clock is ticking.
Yeah.
So
I think it's wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah. So head on over to the Patreon. You can download that, and I think that it came out really well.
Yeah. You guys are going to love it. It's a fun adventure.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.